battle for Hormuz, that's really the story of the day, or at least one of the big stories. So let's start our coverage in this hour with your top three. And the U.S. deploying A-10 Warthogs, Apache helicopters, and the move is now on, it seems like, to try to secure that critical Strait of Hormuz. So we will keep you updated on that throughout the show. We know the impact already on energy prices with that strait having been closed. And, officials in Saudi Arabia are now projecting that the price of oil could hit $180 if it were to stay closed and the war were to drag on for another month. So that's kind of what's at stake here. As for the Pentagon, 3 more warships, thousands of additional Marines are now being sent to the Middle East. So we have that and more in our NewsNation team coverage with international correspondent Robert Sherman at his post in Tel Aviv, White House correspondent Kelly Meyer at her post on the North Lawn of the White House. But Robert, let's start with you. What's the latest tonight on all this?
Hey there, Connell. Well, when it comes to any of these operations here and the ability to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, this all boils down to Iran's capabilities. And what we've seen today, they still have plenty of them. It's been the city of Jerusalem that has been bearing the brunt of Iran's attacks so far today. In fact, we saw one missile landing near the holy city itself, the old city of Jerusalem, not far from some of those holy sites such as Al-Aqsa Mosque or the Western Wall. No injuries reported there, but Israeli police say this is now the third time that holy sites have seen a near miss inside of Jerusalem itself. For the time being, you see American and Israeli forces doubling down on not just going after the launch sites, but also the production capabilities that Iran has, especially for ballistic missiles. That's what we've seen have been the major points of attack that the Americans and Israelis have been hitting from Central Command in recent days. And we just heard from the British Prime Minister's office saying that they have a formal green light in order to give U.S. troops the authorization to carry out strikes from British bases on any of these launch or production sites as well, as a part of the defense agreements that have been struck here between the Americans and the British. Israeli forces continue their focus on eliminating key Iranian officials. Today, it was Ali Naini, who is the spokesperson for the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. You think about all of the top leaders in Iran that have been eliminated: the national security chief, the intelligence chief, the commander of the Basij unit. This is the latest episode in all of that we're seeing. And of course, the bolstering of the posture here in the region with new reports that more American Marines and warships are headed to the region as well. Of course, the Pentagon, the White House, they're all keeping their cards close to the vest on exactly what the intentions are for all of these new troops. But unquestionably, added capabilities in the region, the possibility for raids or evacuating embassies, if it should come to that, as it remains a very fluid environment here in the region. Connell?
We're going to talk more about that in just a moment. But the other thing, Robert, is that we're hearing about Iran starting to carry out executions related to demonstrations, right? What do we actually know about that?
Yeah, and this is certainly garnering the globe's attention and creating international outrage, with Iranian state media confirming that Iran has carried out the first 3 executions relating to those demonstrations that you saw inside of Iran itself. Among the 3 men who were executed would be Saleh Mohammadi, a 19-year-old member of the Iranian national wrestling team. You also had 2 other men as well. That would be Mehdi Ghassemi and Saeed Davoudi. According to Iran, they were charged with killing 2 police officers. But according to international human rights groups that monitor the situation in Iran, they view much of this as being a farce. This is what one of them had to say, emphasizing that these sentences were issued following a completely unfair trial process without the right to access independent counsel. They also believe that confessions were gathered during torture as well. This is something that the White House has warned Iran against doing. We've heard from the White House this week saying that this is further evidence that the operations being carried out are necessary. But the president has vowed to hit Iran hard if they do carry out any more of these executions here. The first 3 taking place this week inside of Iran. Connell?
All right, Robert. Robert Sherman, he's live in Tel Aviv for...
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.